One Zambia, One Nation. Thank you so much for watching ZANIS TV. With the news, I'm Michelle Olubinda. The headlines. Government to work on the damaged roads on the Copperbelt province. Satellite police post set up in Mapona compound in Choma district. UNFPA assists female flood victims in Namwala district. Classroom roof blown off at Kapirimposhi Combined School. The news in detail. President Hakainde Hichilema says government work on the damaged roads on the Copperbelt province to speed up economic development. President Hichilema says the roads to be worked on under the public-private partnership include the Ndola Mufulira, Ndola Lusaka, Kipushi Ijimbe, and the Chadiza Chipata roads. Meanwhile, Mr. Hichilema has reiterated his stance that government will not support homosexuality as it is against the country's constitution and Christian values. Here is a report.
President Hakainde Hichilema has urged Zambians to embrace the culture of hard work to ensure that the country's economic status is improved. The president, who is on the Copperbelt province for a 4-day working visit, today had an engagement with the clergy from different districts in the province at the Lives Cathedral Church in Chingola.
I encourage all of us to work hard. I already talked about skills, education. Given our diversity of skills, tuombele chapamo eya, but tuombeshi. I know that segments of our society believe that a country can progress without hard work. I disagree with that. I totally disagree with that. The things you've talked about, they require ingenuity, they require skills, they require hard work.
The president notes that government is committed to fostering development in critical areas that will allow the country to boost the economy, which is at its lowest level.
Structure, the roads, we have to find an ingenious way of doing them, which includes the PPP, public-private partnership, and hence the Chingola, Chilidabombe, Kasumbalesa road. At a fairer price, quality, and indeed time is delivery. But Lusaka Ndola Road, just one example. The road was contracted to be done at $1.24 billion for 327 kilometers. And now we said, no, we have no money in the treasury. With interest, that road was going to cost $1.8 billion. Now, $1.8 billion. Before, when we came in, we said we can't do that. Cancel that contract. We have now let the contract, men and women on board, at around $600 million, less than half the price.
The church also wants to see a united Zambia.
Together we can, and indeed we shall overcome the enemy through faith in Jesus Christ's name. Meanwhile, we are aware that our country through the years has gone down and is still going down spiritually, economically, socially, academically, mentally, professionally, and even maritally, thereby posing great dangers to our national unity and to the upholding of our traditional national values and principles which are on test today, sir.
Reverend John Lumbwe appealed to government to recapitalize the nitrogen chemicals of Zambia in Kafue.
We recommend Your Excellency that there be serious recapitalization in the nitrogen chemicals of Zambia. Yes, we are aware that quite some substantial amount has been offered to nitrogen chemicals of Zambia to be able to supply compound D this year, but that is way too below the capacity of NCZ.
Some cabinet ministers Copperbelt Minister Elisha Matambo also attended the engagements with the church leaders, at which Mines Minister Hokauswe led the church in hymns, much to the delight of the clergy. Tovini Ngombe, ZANIS, Chingola.
And rehabilitation works on the 70-kilometer stretch of the Pedico Road, which connects the Copper Belt to the Democratic Republic of Congo, have advanced. Sebo Transport, the company engaged to carry out the road works, has revealed that works have begun with 11-kilometer stretch, which was recently impassable for heavy-duty vehicles. Take a look at this report.
Not long ago, the Pedico Road connecting Copper Belt to the northern part of Zambia through the Democratic Republic of Congo was impassable, with most vehicles being stuck. However, the quick intervention by the Zambian government to direct the contractor, Sebo Transport, to quickly open up the road to the motorists during this rainy season has yielded fruits, as Chembe District's Commissioner Christopher Mwansa, who recently inspected the roadworks in the company of Chembe Town Council Secretary and Director of Works, confirms the development.
We are at the point where we had issues with the road, where vehicles got stuck, and this is the portion which made the road to be suspended. But however, from our own observation now, things are moving. You can see the road is open.
Sebo Transport Contract Manager was on site to update the nation on the current status of the road.
Remaining 11 kilometers on the bitumen standard, and 60 kilometers is spot improvement for this asphalt. There are some areas which are going to be also reworked. Now we are doing the road bed, removing the bad material and putting the new one, doing the road bed. On this section already, after the disaster section, we are continuing like that up to Chembe.
Motorists are advised to be cautious of some potholes along the road that have not yet been worked on as they drive through the Pedico Road. Reporting for ZANIS from the Democratic Republic of Congo, I am Mijelo Mwemba.
Also in the news, the Mumbwa Central Constituency has procured earth-moving equipment from its 2022 allocation of the Constituency Development Funds. And Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, Gary Nkombo, who expressed happiness, says it is encouraging to see citizens participate in identifying and implementing projects and programs at the local level. Details in this report.
The long-awaited earth-moving equipment has finally touched Mumbwa soils and has delighted Mumbwa residents. Local Government and Rural Development Minister Gary Nkombo commissioned the earth-moving equipment in Mumbwa district.
Broadening of the Constituency Development Fund by extent and also by size is a demonstration of the President's will to partner with the citizens, those who were voiceless in the past, to make sure that together we decide on things that is going to uplift our social and economic standard of living. The government will continue to work with you to support you at local level as long as we refrain from the negative work attitudes, which also include corruption.
And Central Province Minister Credo Nanjua says the grader will help in the maintenance of feeder roads.
I'm aware of the outcry that has been going on in all the 12 wards in Mumbwa constituency about the pathetic state of the feeder roads in the constituency. And now we are excited that the solution is brought on the table.
Meanwhile, Constituency Development Committee Chairperson Gracious Nkete has thanked the government for streamlining powers of the government to the local people.
As the Constituency Development Fund Committee, we would like to thank government for streamlining the powers of government to the local people. Mumbwa CDF Committee has worked closely with the community as demonstrated by procurement of this earth-moving equipment.
Krugasiankuru, ZANIS, Mumbwa.
We move to Southern Province, where a satellite police post has been set up in Mwapona compound in Choma district to curb criminal activities that have been on the rise in the area. This comes after recording a spate of robberies and killing of innocent people in the last few months. Mike Munkombwe brought us this report.
They have declared war against criminals in Choma's notorious Mwapona compound. This comes after a spate of robberies and killings in the last few months. Southern Division Police Command has improvised a police post in the area to curb criminality.
We are here to arrest them. Anybody who commits crime will feel the wrath of the law. What we'd like to do is now destroy that myth that it's a breeding place for criminals. We want to destroy that myth. We want to bring in sanity so that now proper meaningful development can take place in this area.
The initiative has proved working effectively.
It seems to be effective. We are getting some results. Hopefully, what we would like the community to do is come together and through CDF maybe they can build a police post, a permanent police post here.
Community members can now have peace of sleep after having sleepless nights for a long time.
We used to experience a lot of killings and robberies. In one night they would kill 2 people. Now that the police are here, at least we feel protected.
Mike Munkombwe, ZANIS, in Choma District, Southern Province.
In agriculture news, Central Province has been allocated 48,000 metric tons of fertilizer under the Farmer Input Support Program for the 2023-2024 agriculture season. Minister of Agriculture Permanent Secretary Green Mbozi has disclosed that the province will receive the fertilizer in equal proportions of 24 metric tons each for urea and D compound. Here's a report.
Government has commenced the assessment of prospective input suppliers for the 2023-2024 farming season. Ministry of Agriculture Permanent Secretary Green Mbozi has since toured the Forest Core fertilizer plant and Farmer's Nest in Kabwe.
We don't want again the government making a decision today and then tomorrow we start backtracking and so on. And when we make a decision, it's fine. But current policy now is that we give preference to manufacturers, local manufacturers.
Meanwhile, Central Province Permanent Secretary Milna Mwanakampwe says he would rather deal with local suppliers, unlike invisible ones that switch off their phones at critical times.
So don't disappoint our people. We want the fertilizer to pass the quality test. 3 pillars our procurement process is anchored on: right price, the quality, and then timely delivery, if we can.
The two organizations use the opportunity to share their preparedness for the undertaking.
The future, I will change the time is made, but now I think so is import. Is this year the import?
The homes can be able to buy without coming, and our trucks will be delivering it to them. Okay. So we have everything. It's hardware, chemicals, artificial insemination, vaccines, the famous fertilizers, everything.
ZANIS reports in Kabwe, Central Province.
Still in agricultural news, but this time from Northern Province, the Transforming Landscapes for Resilience and Development trailered in Sama District has encouraged cooperatives that have benefited from the project to promote value addition. Taonga Nkoma filed in this report.
The Transforming Landscapes for Resilience and Development trailered has been supporting communities in its operating areas with resources to venture into alternative livelihoods aimed at reducing overdependence on natural resources. Many of these communities have started livelihood projects in agriculture, gardening, beekeeping and small livestock rearing. Trailered in Nsama is however encouraging beneficiary cooperatives to consider adding value to its raw materials.
The government wants a situation where these farmers at the end of the day becomes resilient, becomes dependable, and also they learn. They don't just harvest crops and store, but then they also learn such practices as value addition, and also they take farming as a business. So at the end of the day, These groups also undergo through entrepreneurial training.
Tralad has also engaged Self-Help Africa to train farmers in post-harvest management losses, a development which has been well received by farmers.
Pakusombola tufure tuwapekanya bwino mwakubika efisabo fyesu umusuma tuwafuana amasaka aya wemeta tufire ture sombola efisabo fyesu firebe fyayitaika nangu ture fisunga bubuyibubi tufire na fyene efisabo lya tuwafisombola tuwafisunga bwino pakutira kuchinja kwa mfula nangu imfula tailokele bwino efisabo fidanga natusunga bwino.
Meanwhile, a farmer from Lubuto Cooperative has encouraged fellow farmers to embrace conservation farming.
This project is kulima kusuma kwa kutia tita uomfeshe no lukasu. Lero nombo afi pampanga nga pano njiminine. Epele wambo nokuta ntike ntambo. Ukwanshika mwabika no tulindi walaimba nakubika mo inseke ishonse shole fo kubyala ponga lifinshule fi pushinga lifinshule fo kubyala.
Taonga Nkoma reporting for ZANIS in Nsama, Northern Province.
Now in Mchinga Province, police in Isoka district has intercepted 22 trucks loaded with maize at Mwaiseni checkpoint after a tip-off from the general public. Mchinga Police Commanding Officer Kaunda Mvanga has confirmed that the interception of 22 trucks loaded with maize en route to Nakonde border post without valid documents. He explained that the undisclosed number of maize bags have been found loaded on the trucks. Mr. Mwanga revealed that among the 22 trucks, six are Tanzanian containerized trucks. He said 22 drivers are currently detained at Isoka Police Station for transporting goods without proper export permit of maize. Mr. Mwanga revealed that all the trucks have been parked at Food Reserve Agency main depot in Isoka district. In Western Province, an agronomist in Mongu district says the performance of some crops in the fields among the maize and rice have been severely affected by a number of factors in the 2022-2023 farming season. Acting Mongu District Senior Agriculture Officer Rogi Simwinde, who recently took field trips to Naliwei and Mbuta areas, says said that most maize and rice fields were initially affected by early floods, then later the dry spell in almost all the 32 agricultural camps in the district. Mr. Simwinde explained that with rice, early flooding affected the crop before it could tilt, whereas the maize tilted due to excessive water. He also said armyworms are among other factors, although the effect was mild, adding that the situation was controlled by government after procuring chemicals that were distributed to farmers. Mr. Simwinde notes that rice and maize yields are expected to decrease this year's harvest season, further stating that last year's maize yields were at 0.89 tons per hectare, while for rice it was at 1.5 tons per hectare. He says the food security situation for farmers in Mongu after harvest this year will be bad, as they are generally 3 to 4 months food secure per household in a year, while this year they are expected to only be about 1 to 2 months food secure. Now the United Nations Population Fund has eased the burden of female flood victims in Namwala district through the provision of dignity kits. The beneficiaries are from Chitonga, Najumba and airstrip camps. More in the following report.
Unexpected displacements from one's usual place of residence owing to natural disasters such as floods is usually distressing to many. The stress is even worse for women, especially those in reproductive age, as they may have to go without their necessities. Women and female adolescents in various DMMU camps for flood victims in Monze, Mazabuka and Namwala district of Southern Province have grappled with the challenge for some time, but the United Nations Population Fund, UNFPA, has now supported them with dignity kits with assorted items. Leonard Zulu is UNFP Program Analysis.
So we are contributing to this effort by government by donating some dignity kits. So far we have donated in 5 camps in Southern Province, and these are scattered around Monze, Mazabuka and Namwala. So our dignity kits contain health and hygiene needs for women, such as sanitary pads, some underwear, washing soap, toothpaste, as well as a chitenge. And these are meant to really just uplift the dignity of women as they are securing their reproductive and sexual and reproductive health rights.
Beneficiary women are excited about the gesture.
Bana abasimbi bana bakubuhita bajiko hinguli bambapire mwabagwa hintu yigonya kuba kwabirira ku site lyabo tomwe ubala amada mwajiko hakuba yakuba goberera twarumba maningi.
Okay.
Ndarumba maningi kubenzu batuswaya batupa hintu yakuberesha wenda nyambuto kashinyigirwa hintu yeso itokanjirirwa jirobe mumande.
For ZANIS, I'm Wailinda Piri, reporting in Namwala district of Southern Province.
The Peter Kapala Foundation has donated assorted items to disaster victims in Chifunabuli district in Luapula province, Esther Banda reports.
Following a heavy downpour which left over 130 families displaced in Chifunabuli district in Luapula province, Energy Minister through the Peter Kapala Foundation has donated assorted items to the victims who have been relocated to camp.
It's a disaster. We have to try by all means to reduce the impact on the families. We've brought a bit of stuff. I can promise that this truck will come back in a week's time or so to bring other provisions like maybe more mattresses, more blankets, carpet, a bit of sugar, some more sugar.
Acting Chifunabuli District Commissioner Benson Matipa has disclosed that more families are yet to be relocated.
We have a team of also others who are in Sobwell, where even the 5 teachers are affected. Actually, their side, we agreed that if the chief gives us land, we can have a second camp.
And Camp Master has expressed gratitude for the donation.
Ichi chachitiko omuku wakubalirapo kuno kumyesu kuchifunabuli na kuchirisha muntu bachitembo kachatara chikitike kya musango eryo twatotera pafyo mutupangire.
Esther Banda reporting for ZANIS News in Chifunabuli district in Luapula province.
As we end the news, a recap of stories that made headlines. Government to work on the damaged roads on the Copperbelt province. Satellite police post set up in Mapona compound in Choma district. UNFPA assists female flood victims in Namwala district. Classroom roof blown off at Kapirimposhi Combined School. That's the news. Thank you so much for watching. On behalf of the entire production team, this has been Michelle Olwinda. Thank you so much and bye-bye.